What genre?
Looking at this probably belongs to the genre of house music.
More like electronic house. Okay, that's cool. So the masthead, let's say on the cover page, that's the masthead, right?
Okay, yeah.
So,
You can't see the...
that's fine, mate. So what significance does it have in relation to the page? Do you like the way it's laid out? Do you think it looks... What do you think it shows based on like the texture, the colour and the size? What do you think? Does it look good in terms of making it stand out? Does it link to the genre?
It kind of signifies kind of like independence, like, because it's kind of dark. Like, it kind of signifies like difference, like a change, like you're a bit of an outsider.
Okay. Do you think the metallic links to the genre? So
yeah, it does very much. Yeah.
Okay.
That's connotation.
What do you think? What do you like? Do you like anything about the facial expressions, about the gestures and the positioning of the artist? Like, what do you think it signifies?
Yeah, him being in the middle like puts the emphasis that the magazine's going to be based on him. And it kind of shows his dominance. His expression could be changed a little bit. It's quite evil.
In terms of the gradient, do you think that signifies anything on the lifestyle of the artist?
The gradient?
Yeah, the gradient. Okay, so it goes from white slowly to black.
Oh, I see.
Does it signify anything significant?
I don't think it shows much effect, but it could maybe show how it's
dual lifestyle, maybe like two personalities.
Yeah, it could be.
In terms of the name of the artist, this is the name.
Yeah.
How does that link to the genre overall, based on like the size, the colours, and the font?
I think it does definitely like link to it because it's like a individual style of music. You know, it can't really take much influence from anything else. So.
But in terms of colour in particular,
yeah, it's dark, so it matches with the other parts. I don't know anything.
Do you think the artist staring into the camera, does it make him seem? Do you think it relates the audience closer to the artist?
Oh, it does definitely. Yeah, it shows that he's connected to the audience. Like,
okay,
he's in the interest of them.
So it seems more personal to the audience.
Yeah.
Okay. And what attracts you on the basis of the features and colour schemes and the layout of the page, like cover lines? Is there anything in particular which would attract you if it was on a shelf with other magazines? What would actually make you want to buy this one?
What would attract me is like the references to all the other artists and DJs.
Yes.
It's like it's multi-purpose. People who have different interests in different artists will be like really interested in it. Okay. So yeah.
So easily. So if there's one person who likes this artist, for example, but doesn't like the others.
Yeah, it appeals to a wide range of people.
Okay, that's cool. Okay. What about the sunglasses? What do you think that conveys about the artist?
He's pretty relaxed. Like he likes a holiday.
Does it give a sense of mystery and a sense of a hidden past? Anyway, what can you infer from the darkness, especially from his eyes?
Yeah, it kind of shows if he has something to reveal. Like there's something about him which you wouldn't know. Like he's hiding something.
Yeah. Okay. So now maybe the contents page.
No, it's fine.
Now with the contents page. Okay, so what does a purple ambience in the background? What does that? And does this link closely to the lifestyle of the genre? So it's a club background. So does it link closely to the genre being in a club environment?
Yeah, it definitely does. Because if you were to go to a club, you'd probably have these, this illumination of lights. So I think it definitely promotes that idea of clubbing and stuff.
And does it look realistic? Because it was all edited into there. Does it look in a sense realistic? I mean,
yeah, it looks really realistic.
Okay. And do you feel that the use of a signature adds a personal touch?
It does, yeah. Definitely does. It's like he's connected to the audience.
Okay,
to be able to.
And does the DJ mixer just down there? Does that relate it closer to the audience?
It does definitely, yeah.
The genre as well.
So many people have accessibility to these boards, so it definitely does.
Now with the, what would attract you to this page? Like what's the features of it in terms of text, colour? What do you think suddenly impacts on the audience?
Well, I think the features section here,
Yeah.
it's got that spectrum of colours which links to that kind of,
The genre of it.
yeah, the genre. And
So you think it looks good with the electro bar?
yeah.
And that links closer to the genre as well.
Yeah.
Okay. And the titles, and do you think it's a good idea for Subscribe Now? So it's able.
Yeah, definitely, because it brings that connectiveness to the audience and
Yeah.
they feel linked to it.
And the NVC, as in sorry, the like the stance, the facial expressions, they're quite consistent in terms of, especially facial expressions. So what do you think this consistency signifies about the artist?
It shows that he has this personality that he's going to stick to. He's not going to change in the face of what other people may think of him.
So he's quite rebellious.
Rebellious,
Okay,
yeah.
that's good. Okay, and sorry, finally, for this part, about the sorry, double page spread. So I'll change it. So what features do you feel complement the genre? On like a sudden impact, like what do you think influences the electro theme?
Well, definitely the colours in the background of the artist here.
So this consistent use
Yeah,
of the, yeah, okay. And do you think the ambience and the reflection on the sunglasses look realistic, and should show what the artist sees on a daily basis?
Yeah, it does, definitely, yeah, because
So-
it's a little blend. You can see
Yeah.
it's red, blue, yeah, it definitely does.
Okay, and it shows that he's submerged in it.
Yeah.
To show how much of a impact is. Okay. What do you think the use of the electronic sound bars? Do you think that links close to the genre?
Yeah, it does, yeah. I think it's been used, a lot in this article and, in this magazine, but yeah, it does.
And can you sense a form of rebellion on the basis of put-up quotes? So these
Oh, definitely,
And
yeah.
what words?
As soon as I saw that, you don't like me, tough. Yeah.
tough, yeah.
That's very good. That stands out for me.
Okay, and that goes with the genre's, sort of rebellious nature. Okay. And the close-up of the artist, what's that signify to you?
It shows that he's on his own. He has nothing else which can influence him. If it was a faraway shot and there were other people there, maybe it's like they influence him, but
So it shows
he's
that,
on his own.
yeah. So it shows that he's independent.
Yeah.
And needs no one else. Okay.
Yeah.
And the final question: what is the significance of the colours at the back and the LED screen look? Do you think that further, like, what I tried to do was
yeah.
it make it look like a 3D glasses,
Yeah.
just to add to the technological approach.
Yeah.
And do you think the LED screen look adds the approach?
Yeah, definitely does. Yeah, it appeals to that young generation who will be interested in this kind of technology and the different types of colours are really, again with that clubbing kind of nature.
Well, what age group do you think it belongs to?
Like this probably belongs to ages of about 17, 18,
Up to.
maybe 21, 22.
Okay, thanks. And overall, are there any weaknesses and strengths that you can gather from the pages?
Well, strengths, I definitely like the use of colour. The colour definitely evokes that feeling of clubbing and technology, and that's brilliant. I like the consistent images of the artist. Makes him seem really independent, and as if he's not going to be influenced. He's rebellious and all that. Any weaknesses? Weaknesses that I'd give, maybe. Do you know what? I think it's very consistent. There's not actually any weaknesses I can pick out. So,
Anything small, anything which you
well, this I don't know. Is that a weakness? It looks a bit out of place.
okay, it's fine.
Yeah, it looks a bit like artificial. Like it doesn't
Okay.
blend in with the rest of the. But that is a very small weakness. So.
Do you think there's anything which disregards the genre?
Let's see. Disregards the genre. No, there's nothing really. Nothing disregards the genre. No, nothing disregards it. I can't find anything.
Well, thank you. Cheers, Francis.
Actually,
Oh, okay.
sorry, I made a mistake. The front of this, I think, disregards it a little bit because it's all white. Maybe if you could add a little bit of an illumination of colours, because on the next two pages are really well illuminated.
Okay.
So what's the difference of this? Like, this is the cover page. This should, set the scene. But apart from that, brilliant magazine.
Okay, thank you. Cheers.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, so to start, what genre of of music magazine do you think it follows based on what you can see?
So it's music, electro, hip hop. I think it's a mixture going by the names on the front cover.
Such as.
Depeche Mode. That was the electro sort of era that I remember in the 80s.
Okay. And what audience do you think relates to it based on like gender and age, and even social class?
I would say age group 20. Well, no, sorry, teenage to 30, really. Sort of a big mix there, really.
Gender.
Uh, Male and female.
And social class, roughly, you can determine.
Social class. I would say, I think it could probably appeal to many different classes.
Okay. So, do you like the positioning of the logo at the top, the masthead?
Yeah, it's quite futuristic almost.
But do you like the way it's positioned, but like behind the artist? Like, do you think it follows what usual magazines follow?
Well, I'm sure that probably the word glitch. I'm sure that it will be.
No, sorry. I mean, as in placement, as in the placement of it.
Well, like I was saying, you got to guess the word because it's covered by the artist
okay.
head.
So it's a little bit inconvenient.
Yeah, I would say there's a little bit inconvenient.
Okay. What do you like about the gestures and the facial expressions? What do you think it? How do you think it presents the artist?
Well, it was almost like it being crucified, but it's like I don't know. Seems to be like he wants to be recognized or and say, "Here I am."
But does he seem serious and quite arrogant, or what sort of depictions do you get of him? In terms of his facial expressions, I feel that he looks very, in some ways, serious about what he does, which shows a sense of passion towards his job. But at the same time, he just seems quite miserable, which I think takes away the overall joy of electro music. So it's used for people to jump up around to and dance to, and he just seems quite miserable. That doesn't really connote a great message for the audience. You may as well say, read this magazine, and you'll end up like me, which is he just looks miserable really. What do you think the font colours and the sizing of the name underneath Electrolyte? How do you think it signifies the artist? Like, what do you think it represents about him?
Well, I'm sure that probably will represent a famous DJ.
But no, as in colours or
Well,
if you look at it,
in colours, in colours again, he's been as the background to cover the half of the electro word. I agree with the light at the end that it lights up the word itself on the black background.
And it links to a futuristic sort of look.
Yeah, like a electro.
But do you think if you look at the text, it looks like a sort of computer glitch has happened. Like it looks like there's
there's like a static.
Yeah, like a
static going through it.
Yes, it is. That in fact, I like that bit at the end where it says light, and funny enough, we represent the light.
Okay. So what immediately attracts you when you're looking at it? Like if you're walking through a supermarket or a newsstand, and you just saw this on there, what would attract you to buy it?
I think it's I think the character, the artist there stands out. It's quite sort of eye-catching. It's a very serious sort of pose. It's almost sort of saying, "Come to me" or "Pick me up."
And do you like the eye contact made? What do you think like? Okay. So what do you like about the camera shot? And the direct stare into the camera. What do you think it signifies?
I think it signifies attention and exposure.
Okay. Like he's trying to present his music like he's facing them to give them to show like a link between the audience and himself. Like
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So can you both, no, all of you, all of you in the group, could you all ask? Tell me, sorry, any strengths? Like, just list a few strengths and a few weaknesses what you could find. Like, I mean, actually, let me ask one more question. What do you like about the cover lines on the side, like the colours of the text and the fonting of it? Do you think it suits it?
Well, again, I think probably is a black spot on the back on a white background. I think probably the background should be changed, different colours with the and again the texture probably of the words need to be changed.
I actually like the way it is because I think the whole sort of different shades of grey and black, they really stand out against the white, but then you've also got a little bit of colour in between, which I think highlights the whole of the front page. It's detailed, but it's simple at the same time.
I think probably the name of the magazine need to be more highlighted. Highlighted, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so there were a few weaknesses. What did you think about? Actually, no. So you said a few strengths. Any more weaknesses? You thinking?
Weaknesses, yeah, just going back to the where it says electro and then light. I think maybe if you used some sort of white um, outline, yeah, so the R and the O stands up against um, the gentleman, whatever his name is here, the artist's, clothing, because it's the same colour.
Yeah, I agreed. But also I think probably the word itself, electro, I would say probably that the best color would be the blue. That will represent the electric kind of color, I would say.
Okay. Okay, so now to the contents page. All right. So, oh, that's the double page spread. Sorry, another one. Okay, okay, what attracts you straight away to that? Like, what do you like about it?
It looks modern. It looks, I suppose the word that youngsters use, hip hop. Um, it's colourful. It's inviting.
Okay. So what does the use of the purple background of like lighting suggest about the involvement of the artist?
Well, I would say that obviously he's involved into music, a kind of a DJ, and I would say that I agree with what Irene said before. The color itself,
Yeah.
the color itself represent the 80s.
80s. Okay. Do you think it looks realistic? Because I edited the background in. Do you think it seems realistic based on like the transparency of the artist? Like, look, I've dimmed him a little bit just to make the lighting reflect on him a little bit more.
Yeah, I think it looks like he's actually in a room with that lighting.
Do you guys?
Yeah, well, it's almost seems to be that the picture has been taken while he's on tour, he's live.
Do you think? Do you like anything about the signature I've put? Like, do you think it? What do you like about it, or what do you dislike? Is there anything which adds a personal touch? Do you think? Do you think it adds anything personal? I like the look of the signature type of font for Electrolight. It's quite cheeky that he has a little X there. You know, as though he's trying to impress the lady, something like that. But I think it does suit it. Actually, I don't think it really suits the genre, because with Glitch on the first page it says featuring on the cover page featuring Electrolight, and it looks like it's all glitched out. So that means, you know, pieces of text are all over the place. I feel that you could have incorporated that a little bit more to show, just to make it link closely, you know, between the pages.
Making it look like a signature, I think, personalises it anyway.
No, but as in, do you think it's like a mark of him, and it shows
Yes.
it gives a form of association toward the audience.
Yes, it does.
So does the DJ mixer, with his hand on, does it seem successfully implemented, as that was also edited in?
Yeah, I think unless you really, really study it, I think it looks real. Yeah, it looks like he's actually. In fact, when I first saw it, I thought that he was actually mixing.
And does that also link to the genre based on it being used for electronic music making?
Yeah, definitely.
Um, so, what do you like anything about the text or the color use, the fonting on the right side, left side? The color yellow is quite overused, I think, on the contents page. I do think it's quite overused in a respectful way. And the font, it is a nice font, but I do feel that you should have linked it in with the type of font that was used for the front cover.
It stands out. I think the yellow goes very well. The colour yellow really makes it stand out against sort of blue and purple background. And I think also the wording. It's subscribe now in red. That's good. And then this week contents. It's informative. It's saying what this is about now.
So, do you like on the bottom right of it? Do you like the use of the electronic sound bars to separate the
I really like
contents
that.
pages?
Yeah, that's the first thing I actually noticed.
So it attracts you because of colour.
Yeah, and also because it just has that. I don't know what it's called. Is it a synthesizer when it shows the sound bars? Is that?
I think. Oh, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, but when it shows.
It's an equalizer.
Oh, equalizer. Yeah, and it's all to do with sound and music. Yeah.
Okay. And what does this consistent facial expressions of the artist? What does it signify about him? Like, he's always serious. So what do you think it represents?
I don't actually know what it should represent, but
I know
it's very consistent with the front page. Definitely, he looks exactly the same. So he's a very serious artist. He takes it all very seriously. Maybe a little smile here and there might do him good as well.
Yeah, okay. So if you could list just a couple of strengths and weaknesses. I like the prop that the artist used because it shows that he creates his own music, which links in with the genre because it's very much electronic. Electro. I think the prop used, I think was it called I'm not too sure what it's called, but on the contents page, I like I don't know what it's called, but the platform that he uses in order to create the music. So a DJ, I like that because it links in with the genre as being electro. So I think it does suit it. I wouldn't change that. If I'd say strengths, I like the colour used. It feels as though we're actually part of the club in which this artist would play at. And it's quite immersive as well, so when reading it you do feel somewhat submerged within it. And at the same time that I like the colour used for the front cover. So the colour used for the front cover, because I feel that with the use of black, grey and white, it just shows the basic elements within colour. It shows you the basic elements of creating modern day music. In terms of weakness, I feel that some form of lighting could be used. Let's say for the front cover, I feel that there could have been a bit more lighting for the fact that the character, he's just, even with his clothing, it's just not necessarily bland, but in comparison to side lighting that could have been used.
Okay, so strengths, colourful. Like I said, I like the where it's got the features, the different bars. I like the font, the colours, the way it stands out. I think the implant that you said about the mixer, it does look real. Weaknesses. I think the artist should have a little bit of more of a smiley face.
I totally agree with that. But on the positive about the front page, but I would say that from the negative part, I would say that it would be nice to see the artist's face instead in a cover with the glasses. Seems to be that he's trying to hide something, and the fact that he's got a serious face while playing music, and where you got majority of people that they're quite young, so that you want to see a bit of enjoyment of what you do as well. The only way you can properly represent on the photo is by the expression of your face.
Okay. Now, the double page spread. Yeah. So, what features do you think are complementary to the electro genre? I like the way music bars are used, and links in with the genre. Yeah, obviously with the genre, electronic again. And I like the image that was used. It's a form of continuity from the contents page. That's great, and you actually feel that the character is in front of a crowd.
Well, where it says enough is enough, the I don't know if you call it the font or the style, yeah, the layout, the text, that to me looks electro.
What, because of what, the blue and the colours as well?
The colours that are used, the positioning of the boxes, and the font on the actual text. And then also, is that a Ministry of Sound logo? No. Okay.
Sound bars.
Oh, okay, the sound bars, yeah, and that as well, obviously.
So, what's the significance of the text with the little gaps and it makes it look like an LED screen? How does that link to the overall genre?
Well, yeah, it just looks electronic, yeah.
So, okay, so it links to a technological sort of aspect.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
And the use of red and blue, does that stand out as anything related to futuristic factor?
I don't actually get that, so I'm sorry.
It's meant to look like 3D glasses to relate to the overall.
Oh, I see. Okay,
okay,
yeah.
Can you sense any rebellion on the page?
Well, yes. Just I think it's just the wording, isn't it? That's quite rebellious, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, he's quite serious on about his job. He knows what he's doing, and you will have to agree and disagree with the artist. At the end of the day, if you don't like that kind of music, that kind of gender, well, as he says, it's tough shit.
Okay. And the sound bars. What do you like about the sound bars in the middle? Is that the same sort of explanation as before? Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the what do you like about the camera shot when it's close up? Do you like the way you can portray emotions? Like, what do you gather from it?
Well, you remind me. You remind me of one of the films. I think it's called Cobra, by Sylvester Stallone. A bit serious. Like I said, I don't like the idea of the artist not showing his face, not showing his eyes.
But I mean, in terms of, because you can see his emotions more clearer. So, and progressively throughout the pages, it gets pretty much closer to his face.
No, sorry, I disagree. I don't think he's showing any emotion at all.
Well, except for sincerity.
Maybe he's a serious artist.
Okay. So it presents him as serious continuously. Okay, fine.
It does present him as a very, very serious artist, and he seems to, with the wording that's used as well, if you don't like me, then tough,
yeah.
SHIT, I think it goes hand in hand.
And do you think it looks realistic on the sunglasses? Because I put that there as well. With the background, I tried to make it look like a reflection from the club. What do you think?
Yeah, I was looking at that. It actually does look. It looks like there is a reflection of something there, some sort of lights and flashing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so could you list any? So just a couple of strengths and weaknesses, and then that'll be done. the fact that it's a close-up, we see his facial expressions clearer, showing that what we see of him depicts the outcome of what we think. So, due to his higher command, the sort of music that he creates will influence the target audience who are actually reading the magazine. So the strengths, I like the text used as well as Enough is Enough. It looks all over the place, like the music, the colour used, the text used, the layout, I really like it. And yeah, the continuity from the contents page. But if there was any weakness, I'd say that the page on the right hand side, it does seem quite plain, and I feel that on the left side of the text, it's not as it should be the same distance in terms of when it finishes with convince me. It should have gone down to the same line as the last paragraph, which finishes with would like to work this. So I feel that yeah, it doesn't seem complete. Maybe showing that the character isn't as complete, but nevertheless. And also the way the background's white, it just seems quite plain personally, and the text does seem quite small. I think the space could have been used a little bit better, but still. And also finally 18, the page number 18 and 19. 19, that's fine in that location, but 18, that should be on the left side to, you know, show it's part of conventions at the same time, but also consistency within the magazine, not necessarily the genre. But yeah, those are just minor weaknesses.
I think the layout of the boxes and the text, the format of the text is good. I'm not sure on the colour, the blue and the red. I think the red's good. I think the blue maybe could have been a different shade of blue. Soundbars, from a first glance, it looked like, for some reason, for me, almost the logo of Ministry of Sound. I thought that had something to do with it, but then looking closer, I can see that they are sound bars. I think maybe the sound bars you used on the second page, something like that would have, more colourful, would have stood out a bit more.
Okay. So have you said any strengths?
Excuse me. Strengths, yeah. I like the fact that it's a close up. I like the reflection on the sunglasses. That really caught my eye straight away, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
I do feel that the background could have had a little bit more of a setting, because it does seem quite edited, but nevertheless it's great. It looks great, and I like the way it says "you don't like me, tough." I'm gonna say tough shit. So it shows that he doesn't necessarily care what people think about him. He's his own person. He's his own man, and he creates his own music, and he doesn't care what anyone thinks about it. So it's quite a respectful outcome, but at the same time quite controlling and bossy, which in some ways would increase the form of rebellion, which is exactly what a younger audience would personally not personally, but exactly what a younger audience would appreciate, considering that the stereotype of a teenager would be quite rebellious.
Alright, thank you.